Hello, I'm Dr. Marci Lynn Jackson, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday. I am so grateful that we have made it this far, and it has truly been by God's grace and mercy that we have. I don't know another place that I would rather be. I think that if it had not been for the Lord on our side, we would not have made it this far. But this is us it's a labor of love. And I want to make sure that the content that goes forward, the Lord is pleased with that. So I've been in my word, I've been worshiping the Lord, and I have a word for you. We're in the thick of August. Actually, we're rounding down, and the Lord has laid something on my heart for us, and I cannot wait to get into it. See you in a bit. All right, welcome back. Listen, let's get into it. I really don't have time to waste, so I'm glad you're here. Pull up a chair or listen. The word that the Lord has dropped in my spirit, we are in August, but the tides have changed. They turned. And if anybody knows anything about tides, at any moment, it can change, it can shift. And if it does, you just ride with the wave, what we call now. And I think the world has learned how to do, or what to do, is that we have to pivot. And a word that the Lord has dropped in my spirit is the word expectation. A strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future. And that word expectation, to expect something, to have a strong belief, to anticipate something. And that's what I've been sensing for us moving forward. And it hadn't even, usually I asked the Lord for a word for the month. And when I realized that, man, we still had a week in August left, but it is this strong belief that something is on the horizon. And in expectation comes preparation, where you get ready for something and you make room for it. And that is exactly where we are right now. Today, on Monday, towards the end of August, we had been in a month of heavy discouragement. Everybody that I talked to was going through things in their finances, in their marriages, in their lives, and they were feeling, just this overwhelming sense of despair and heaviness. And the Lord is saying, oh, listen, the tides have changed for you, and I want you to expect me to do something in your life, to expect me to show up, not as the exception, but actually the rule, that I said I will never leave you nor forsake you. The exceptional feat is that, just by happenstance, maybe the Lord will see about me. But he is saying, oh no, Zion, I am coming to see about you, because I promised you something that I'm ready to make good on. And that's what we're going to talk about. Listen, I have a word for us, and I want us to wrap our minds around it. I am in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 2. Now, we can read this entire book. You can. You're cutting into the Lord, talking about a perpetual covenant of peace, and what he's sharing with the children of Israel. They've come through a lot, and I won't go into that, but they've come through a lot. They've suffered, and like he promised, after you have suffered a while, you reap. I think that sometimes we lose sight of what suffering does for us, what it does, like suffering in our lives, that we have begrudgingly moved through seasons of suffering, thinking that it was to harm us. But it is actually working something far greater in us, to get us ready for something, to get our spiritual muscles ready for something. I said that a few months prior to where we stand today, that the things that we're going through, they're coming to press us, like we have been pressed. We have gone through the threshing floor. There's something after that. There's something after the oil, the pressing of the olives, the oil that comes from that, the anointing that comes from that. That is where we are headed right now. And in Isaiah 54:2, his word to the children of Israel was to enlarge the place of your tent, and let them stretch out the curtains of your dwellings. Do not spare. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes, for you shall expand to the right and to the left, and your descendants will inherit the nations and make the desolate cities inhabited. Let's go into that. Let's see what the Lord is saying to us about that. So in Isaiah 54:2, it's a prophetic command encouraging God's people to expand their capacity for God's blessings. Listen, when the Lord comes through, he says to you in Malachi, bring all your tithes to the storehouse. See, won't I pour out a blessing that you won't have room enough to receive. When he talks about his blessings, they come in good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give to thy bosom. And just think about that. I'm going through different scriptures of talking about when the Lord comes, he comes in plentiful. What happens is, when you talk about something pressed down, if I put something in a basket and I want to make room in that basket and push that basket to capacity, I'm going to press down the things that I have in there. And then I'm going to shake it together so that I can create even more space. I'm going to press down. I'm going to shake it together so that I can create room, so that I can enlarge the territory. And that's what the Lord is saying here. He's saying here in Isaiah 54:2 that he wanted God's people, he wants you to expand your capacity for God's blessings by enlarging the place of your tent, where you are, where you reside, where you are. I want you to think past where you are. When you are in hardship, you can't think past you don't have enough money to pay your bills. But God is saying, I want you to expand your mind past that. I don't want you to limit yourself where you are, because then you would not have prepared for what is coming next. Today, we are talking about clearing your atmosphere for more. You cannot go into this next season. You cannot move into the expected place the way that you are. The suffering, the stench of it is not meant for you to take with you. It's meant for you to grow from where in the space and where you are. When you go to the gym and you do resistance training, not cardio, to get your heart ready and conditioned to endure. So we have endurance, right? We're here. We haven't got crossed on over. We're here. But you may not be able to carry the weight of the blessing of what is next. And God is commanding you right now. Do you hear me? In your expected place, your urgent need or knowing that more is coming. In this place, he's telling you now, I want you to enlarge your tent. I want you to enlarge your tent, stretching out the curtains, lengthening the cords, and strengthening the stakes. This verse is symbolizes preparing for spiritual and physical growth, embracing God's promises, and deepening faith for a future expansion for God's work and people. He's ready to do more. After you have suffered a while, he is ready to do more. When you were suffering, I know that it seemed you were fearful and you were scared, but the truth of the matter is 1,000 may have fallen at your side and 10,000 at your right hand. Only with your eyes did you look and even see the reward of the wicked. Let the Lord take care of that. He will fight your battles. Your enemies, they're his enemies. It's not even for you to worry about the stench of what happened to you in the valley, because at this point you are crossing over. You are no longer to be where you are in your mind. This is for spiritual and physical growth. Those of you who have been waiting for promotion, it's here. Those of you who have been waiting to grow spiritually, it's here. Strengthening your cords, strengthening the stake so that it's not moved by the expansion of growth. And so let's go into this. Enlarge the place of your tent. First, That means to make more room for God's presence and blessings. That is physical and spiritual expansion. You know, for me, when you start to experience discontentment anywhere, physically or spiritually, it's time for growth. If you are where you've been and you now are feeling some discontentment there, like Paul says, I've learned to be content in any state that I'm in. And so when you have settled in to a place, in those places where you are, hello, it's Dr. Marci Lynn Jackson here, and I am so sorry to interrupt you. I know it was going really good, and I am so grateful that you guys are engaged, okay? So I want you to stay with us because we're going somewhere, all right? However, if you would love to become a part of this community, we are here every week. You can binge watch, you can do you could go back and listen to it. I do that often when I need to be encouraged and I need my faith to be expanded and hear the word that was given to me to help me through my process. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and join our YouTube community. I want you to like what you are listening to, and I want you to hit that notification bell so that you know when be notified when we post, okay? So subscribe, like, and get notified. All righty? All right, let's jump back in. When the discontentment come in your spirit, it doesn't matter how you turn. You turn this way, can't get comfortable. Turn this way, can't get comfortable. Go sit up, can't get comfortable. Go to the window, can't get comfortable. And I'm saying symbolic of your life. You're doing everything that you can to be comfortable in the space that you're in, and you are not finding any comfort. You are discontent where you are. That is an indication that it is time to grow. Whether it is spiritually or physically, you are discontent in the room or the home or the space that you're in, then it may be time for you to go look and see what else is next. We are in expectation of the Lord doing more in our lives, where we have just been able to make ends meet. We have only been able to just have enough for us and ours and be fine. And God is saying no more of that. Expansion and growth is coming. I don't want to sound like a used car salesman, but I am so excited right now. I am excited because I too have been I've been in a place of waiting, and in that waiting, it wasn't just enough to be where I was waiting. Discontentment and pressure and all of that came. So there were even times where I said, Lord, okay, I can be here. I will set my tent here. I will be content here. And I had a season where that was fine. Pressure came. And in that pressure, I applied pressure. I resisted against it. I resisted the devil. He fled. I did all of those things. And then discontentment has come, where now I'm looking and I am expecting God to do something and to not leave me here. And in that, he's saying, in you doing that, then I want you to know that you have room to do more than you've ever done before in a season like this. It is not the norm of saying that I'm going to give you this and it is going to be just enough. It is not just enough season. It is not just enough for you to feed yours and you in a famine, and like the widow, she had just enough oil or what have you to make something for her and her son, and they were preparing to die. We're not talking about that. That's not what this is. So when Elijah told her, no, make something for me first and watch the Lord expand it. Watch him multiply it. And in expansion and multiplication comes. It's not addition. It's multiplying. It's growing. So then it talks about stretch out the curtains of your inhabitants, of your habitation. This further emphasizes the need to make more space ready to welcome a larger family or community. And this is what the Lord is telling them about their tent. He says that I am going to do this for you, and in me doing this for you, I need you to make room for it. I need you to get ready for me. Don't have me come and you haven't prepared because you've been in doubt. I don't want you to do that. Have faith in God. Trust in the Lord with all of thine heart. Don't lean to your own understanding right now, because what you will have a tendency to do is to sit in your suffering and think that season is never going to pass you, and then you miss the Lord. This is not the time for that. Like I was telling you before, therefore, I'm thinking that, oh, that'll be in September. God now said, no, I don't even want you to get there. I want you to start preparing now. I want you to get your mind ready for it now. You're going to hear something this week. And I don't want you scrambling, trying to figure out what are you going to do to receive it. I want you to already be ready, to keep from getting ready. You haven't had anything else to do. You've been suffering. And at that point, what do? You prepare, because you are in expectation of God to move. You are in expectation of God doing something in your life, answering your prayers, doing what he promised that he would do. And so here it is. He says here, do not spare. And I'm still in Isaiah 54:2. He says, do not spare. What does do not spare mean? Do not spare means don't hold back. Listen to what the Lord is saying there. Don't hold back. We have a tendency to hold back on things because we feel like we don't want to jinx ourselves. Well, I don't want to do too much, because what if he doesn't come through? I'm not going to prepare too much for that, because what if I don't get the interview? I'm not going to go and talk to that person, because what if they think that I'm crazy? I'm not going to pack up my place because God's going to enlarge my territory, because what if I don't get approved for the loan to get the house? I'm not going to go in and talk to them, because what if they tell me that my credit still isn't good enough? I'm not going to ask for more money in that negotiation, because what if God is saying, no, I don't want you to hold back. This is not the season to hold back. I'm coming through for you. This is the time for you to expect me to do my big one. He says here, do not spare. If somebody told you I'm sparing no expense, and I'm telling you to not spare nothing, don't hold back. What I'm telling you is take the limits off. Take the limits off. Take the limits off of God. If he's telling you that I'm coming and I want you to expect that I am, he has never failed you. He has never left you. He says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. This lends to Genesis 28, I'm going to say in 14. Let's go there. In Genesis 28:14, I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. My pastor, Pastor C, came through a few months ago and spoke that over our church. I received that word. I have calmed myself down here because the Lord is doing his work, and I am just in awe of it. And it just looks like this is going to be a two-part for us. I want to break it up because I want you to get it. First and foremost, we are in a season of expectation. And with that being said, we got to prepare for what is coming, what's coming our way. And so this is going to be a two-part series. We're going to stop here. And I will see you next week. All right? I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you to miss it. But I want you to get yourself together. All right? We are moving from our suffering into our enlarged place. All right? I'll see you next week.